I can't tell you how excited I am to just have a day at home today to catch up with you. I feel like it's been a while and there is a lot to catch up on actually, including laundry. So I hope you don't mind me just folding my laundry while we talk this morning. I've got an absolute mountain of laundry to get through because last week, or over the last week actually, we've had my parents here and we've had Kenny's whole family here, including his sister, her husband and their 2 babies. So I think we've had 8 adults, 2 children, 2 dogs and a cat in the house over the last week. So as you can imagine, there are a lot of towels and bed linen and things to wash. So I'm just folding some of this now so I can put it all away. So where to even start? Well, let's start with, I thought today would be a really lovely summery sort of home vlog. However, I woke up this morning to pouring rain, which actually is the first time in weeks that it has been pouring because we've had the most gorgeous weather over the last few weeks, and then I don't know what's happened today, but it's pouring. So instead, we'll still have the day at home. We'll just make it a cosy, rainy summer's day at home. And actually a lot of what we're going to do today is cooking and baking and things like that. I think one of my really big goals with this time that I have on my own is to really improve my cooking, because obviously Kenny is the cook in this house really, so I've very much taken a back seat. And now that I'm going to be on my own for a while, I feel like I really want to get back into it. So I think we're going to make a couple of recipes today and do some baking, so that's what we'll do later on. Yeah, so update, Kenny is now back in Thailand. He left a couple of days ago. That was not a fun day, if I'm being completely honest. I kind of feel like every time we have to say goodbye, it gets harder. And I remember one of my friends telling me this. She did long distance with her boyfriend for a long time. And she kind of just pre-warned me that actually it's one of those things that somehow gets harder with time, because we'd had that little bit of time together at home and it all just started to feel so normal again. And then obviously, yeah, he had to leave. And I think also this is our longest sort of stint so far that we won't see each other. I hope my kitchen floor is clean. Well, it is actually, because I mopped it earlier. But yeah, I don't know, it was especially hard this time. But that was a couple of days ago, and I think we're both feeling much better now and getting back into the swing of things. But this will actually be sort of the first time that I've really properly, truly, to me anyway, lived on my own since he's been gone, because for the last 6 months oh, my fly's undone. Sorry if that's been undone the whole time. But yeah, for the last 6 months, as a lot of you will have probably realised, my parents have been around a lot because they were kind of waiting for everything with their house move to be finalised and all of that sort of thing, which it now is. So they are back down in the Cotswolds full time. I have their dog Poppy here and their cat Willow here, just because it's so stressful when you're moving anyway, isn't it? I thought I'd keep the animals and just let them move in. So they're going to be here, I think, only until next week. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. Like I said, we've had lots of family time with my parents and also Kenny's family. But yeah, now it's just back to the usual routine of just Rue and I. It's just going to be a chilled day at home. I've got book updates for you, I have got all these recipes for you, and then I kind of just hoped you to keep me company while I get this house a little bit sorted after having everybody here. I think I've done all my laundry now, I think. I've got laundry in here too, although I'd quite like to change my own bed, which is just the worst job. Isn't it just one of the worst jobs, changing the bed? Anyway, let me go put all this away. Oh, it's blustery out there. It definitely feels not like summer anymore, let's put it that way. But right, let's just move you a little bit. Are we good? Are we? Yeah, I think so. But we are just going to quickly pop out and do a food shop. My concealer's very light today. I think I must have got a slight... Oh, I hate when I'm parked so close. I think I must have got a slight tan when we were in America. I don't really tan at all. And a few years ago I decided to just give up trying because it's bad for my skin, bad for my health, and I never really get anywhere with it anyway. So you won't really catch me lying in the sun on holiday. Maybe occasionally, but not really anymore. I remember when I was young, I used to be absolutely determined that I would get a tan. And on every family holiday, I would just spend so long. Because I don't know if anybody else remembers, but obviously long before we really all understood like skin damage and all of that sort of thing, it used to be, after the school summer holidays, it used to be basically just a competition of who has the best tan. And I would always lose that with my incredibly fair complexion. Anyway, how did I even, oh yeah, I was just saying my concealer's a little bit light for me, which is miraculous really. Anyway, I'm popping to the food shop, which you can probably guess, because where else am I ever going? Always going to buy food. I haven't really properly restocked the fridge since we got back from America, and even when I have, it's been like, you know, sharing food, party food. Because we've just been eating out a lot, and then also just having things like big barbecues and whatever. So there is nothing in the house. So I need to do a big food shop. I'm going to bake something this afternoon and a new recipe for dinner. I am super excited about dinner. We're going to make like a deconstructed lasagna sort of soup thing. You'll see later, but it looks so yum. So I'm going to make that for dinner. Yeah, I need just about everything, and I'm currently stuck in stationary traffic, and I don't know why. Oh, a bus trying to get through. The roads around where we live are a nightmare because we have parking up and down like every single street near us. Oh, is my bra out? Is my bra out now? Honestly, I've just looked at myself in my camera because we're stopped. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thought the car in front of me was going to hit me. This is absolute chaos. I'm not doing very well this morning, am I? I've had my bra out, and then this morning I had my fly unzipped. I don't know what on earth is going on down here. Oh, I think someone's crashed into someone. Yeah, someone's crashed into someone. That's what's happening. Oh no. Like the village bus thing, you know, the tiny buses. Not really a village, but one of the local. Oh, my car's too big to fit through here. God. This is very stressful. Very, very, very stressful. If you could see the gap I'm trying to get this big car through. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I was just apologising for showing you not only my underwear this morning, but apparently also my underwear now. Honestly, I am missing these cars by about a centimetre, but if I don't push through, nobody else can get through either. So, you know what? Maybe I go and concentrate on this situation actually, so I don't damage my car. I've already had a wing mirror knocked off. Can't remember whether I ever told you about that, but some big Asda delivery truck was driving. It was like overtaking some parked cars and just smashed past my wing mirror and then drove off. So that will be my expense. So that's fantastic. But anyway, yes, I'll go and concentrate, and I'll see you when we get to the food shop. Okay, super quick haul of what I picked up. Onions, green beans. I have to buy these really embarrassing little cans of wine because I can never get through a whole bottle by myself. I just don't drink often enough. But for the nights when I just really fancy a glass of wine when I cook, like probably tonight, I have to buy these cans of wine, so that's what they are. I bought a thyme plant to put into my little herb basket because all of the recipes I've been cooking recently seem to have thyme in. I bought some rhubarb for later. I bought leek, blueberries, bananas. What else have we got in here? Just one little bread roll. That's just for some soup I'm going to make at some point. I got plain flour, self-raising flour, coconut milk, chopped tomatoes. What's this? More chopped tomatoes. I got some apples, carrots, got some apricots, fennel, soy milk, cavolo nero, big load of cavolo nero actually. Oh yeah, I bought this today. It's a bit of a treat to myself because this is just outrageously expensive, and I could definitely make it at home because it's basically just different types of nuts all blended together. But I want it for dinner tonight and I'm being lazy, so I treated myself to this. It's like a vegan parmesan type thing. I just got some flax seeds and some shallots, some garlic, and I think that's pretty much everything. So just a regular little food shop really. So I'm gonna put all of this away and then we're gonna get into some baking, I think. Either way, I've not had either for a very long time. They're actually so good. And the sun's come out. Just had to have one now without thinking of Call Me By Your Name, if you've read that, or is it in the movie? I don't know, but if you've read it, you definitely know. You have a little lion's mane at the moment, don't you? Really having trouble finding a groomer for Rue, so she's not had a haircut for a while. Anyway, I was planning to pop my thyme plant in my little planter from Dalesford that's got my basil and parsley in, but as you can see, it's looking quite full. I did used to have 3 in there, but I think these are obviously filled out. Also, my orange tree is doing so well. We have little oranges this year. It's really thriving. There's Willow. I also have a new garden chair out there. But yeah, so it's not going to quite fit in there, I don't think, but I have spotted out the window. In fact, let's go outside. Shoes or no shoes? I tell you what. These are my garden slippers, just when I need to pop out and do something. And don't mind this chair, it's propping the door open so it doesn't blow closed on the dogs. This chair really has had its day. It was actually my granny's chair, so it's been around for a long time, but it's actually growing, I don't know, moss or something on it. Anyway, hello Willow. Hello darling. Do you want some fuss for a second? Hello. Willow gets a little bit left out sometimes because the dogs try and chase her off, so when I've got a minute with her I try and give her some fuss. Oh no, not all over my... Excuse me. Oh no, she's trying to rub on the plant. No, no, no. Excuse me. It does smell good though, huh? That smells... How good does it smell, Willow? So good. Anyway, what I spotted out here were these terracotta pots. I'm a bit scared that there's spiders in them, actually. Maybe if I just move them a bit. Oh! Okay, they also need a clean. These ones are too small. But I think this size should do the job. Let's try it. Yeah, I think that should be fine with a bit of rejigging. Hi, my gorgeous girl. Are we all outside now? Everybody's come outside to join me now. But this is our new garden chair. It does obviously have cushions, but they've been inside because it's been raining all day, but it's very comfy. I just got it from HomeSense because... Oh, I looked forever for garden furniture. It was the whole thing. I'll tell you when we're inside. But in the end, I just picked this up and it was on sale. I think it was about £100 or something. Hello, would you like to show everyone the garden? Lunch turned out to be a bit of a non-event because by the time I got home I was so hungry that I just grabbed some leftovers from the fridge. So my recipe that I was going to make for lunch today I'll show you next week, hopefully, although we might not be here next week because I've actually not spoken about this and I was going to save it completely for next week, but I'll just say the tiniest amount now. I say we, me, because Kenny's obviously in Thailand, but for us together, we are in the process of house hunting again. I know you must think we are crazy, the amount that we move and the amount our life changes, but that's kind of just the nature of, I think, what Kenny does. And obviously I have so much flexibility with what I do that, yeah, we just move a lot. We seem to move. Kenny and I have been together, I think, for 4.5 years now, and we lived in Leeds to begin with, because that's where he was playing football. We lived in Lytham, we lived in Manchester city centre, we've lived here. But yes, we are officially on the hunt for houses. I am not going to say too much more about where or why or what for or that sort of thing until next week, because I feel like that's kind of probably, because I think we're going on viewings next week. When I say we, I literally mean me with you. I don't know, I think you just get so used to saying we when you are like with somebody or like married to somebody. It feels like we're married. We're not, but it feels like we are. But anyway, yeah, very, 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 very exciting. And I really can't wait to just tell you a little bit more about it next week and actually take you on some viewings. I feel like that'd be really fun. However, I am now going to do some baking, and you may have guessed this from the rhubarb, although you might be able to make lots of things with rhubarb. Maybe it's just me that has always had rhubarb crumble. I feel like rhubarb crumble is so nostalgic for me, because growing up we used to grow rhubarb in our garden. I think my mum still does, and definitely probably will again in their new garden now, and my mum always used to make rhubarb crumble, and I just woke up this morning and I thought, you know what, I really fancy rhubarb crumble. So I found some rhubarb, harder to find than I thought. I thought it would be in season now, but what do I know? Dinner is just going to be a dream tonight, like a lasagna soup followed by rhubarb crumble. The dream. I'll put the recipe somewhere, either here or in the description, or both, or something. If it's not, as usual, just shout at me in the comments and I'll give you the recipe. Okay, I thought, hi baby, that while the crumble is in the oven, it's about time for this week's edition of Book Club. And I'm so excited for this one because I've been absolutely dying to discuss this book with somebody, and nobody in my life has read it. So we're going to talk about A Little Life, which I read partly on holiday and then mostly once I got back. If you've read this, please share your thoughts with me. Let me start by saying that this book was pretty much at the top of my to be read list for the longest time. But I kind of had this I was almost scared to read it because of how upsetting everybody had said the book was. I've seen so many videos online of people sobbing, absolutely sobbing, like in airports, on public transport. The author really doesn't shy away from the details and the description, and she clearly feels no need for the story to be uplifting or for things to have a happy ending. That being said, I didn't need to be scared to read it, and I also think going into the book knowing that it was going to deal with really heavy topics, that it was going to be upsetting, that it might not necessarily have a happy ending, really prepared me. I think that's how I got through the book. I think if I'd have gone into this expecting anything other than devastation, maybe it would have been worse. But I did manage to get through this book without crying, which I think is a pretty, I don't even know how I did that because I cry at everything. That just shows how emotionally prepared I was for the book, because I will cry at anything. Excuse me? Am I leaving you out? A couple of things I want to say about it. I could talk about it all day, but I won't, because I know not everyone is interested, and not all of you will have read it or even want to read it. But for me personally, I absolutely love this book. I think it's one of the best books I've ever read. I actually really found it refreshing that it didn't have a sort of predictable plot, because if you really think about it, most books kind of go happy, looks like it's going well, goes worse, gets a bit better, you know, a twist in the story, and then ends on a happy ending kind of thing. This book does not do that, let me tell you. So I found that quite refreshing in a way. I think her character building is incredible. I feel like I actually know these men. The basic premise, by the way, is following 4 men throughout their entire lives, from when they were at college, I think, to when they're sort of in their 50s. It's essentially a book about the endurance of friendship, is how I would describe it. The descriptions are so vivid, which obviously at times is harrowing, but also at times is like beautiful. I think her descriptions are so good. I could not put this book down. I kept trying, because I was reading it the week before Kenny left, and I kept trying to reason with myself that Kenny's leaving, read it when he's gone, and I couldn't. I was waking up early to read it, I was staying up late to read it. Any second I was reading this book. So would I recommend reading it? 1,000,000%. I think it's an incredible book. However, it does come with the longest possible list of trigger warnings. Basically, if you can conceive of something bad, it's probably in this book. It's a pretty tough read at times, and there were pages in the book that I skim read because I thought I'd get the idea of what's happening here, and I don't need to know the details on this one. It's kind of beautiful and devastating at the same time. That's how I would describe it, but you need to be emotionally prepared to read this book. You cannot go into this expecting anything other than devastated, is probably how I would put it. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't read it, because when I heard people say that, I kind of thought, well, why would I want to put myself through that? But now I understand why, and I understand why for so many people it's their favourite book. It's definitely not a book to read if you are a very young person. It's definitely not a book to read if any of the trigger warnings are particularly sensitive to you. I would probably just stay clear. It's not a book to read if you want something uplifting, but I promise you it's an incredible, incredible book. The only criticism I will say, because I'd love to get your opinion on this if you have read it, is I do feel that it's almost so many awful things happen to one character in his one lifetime that it's almost unbelievable, like literally unbelievable. I don't know, or I really hope that one person, you know, can't actually go through that much in one lifetime. I hope that I am right about that, and that doesn't make me naive. So in some ways I feel like there's a little element of torture just for the sake of torture, rather than needing it for the plot, sort of thing. That's my only criticism though, and I, other than that, loved it. So just to quickly touch on the book that I'm going to read next, I am moving on to The Trouble with Goats and Sheep. My mum recommended this to me. I usually love my mum's recommendations, and they are normally more light-hearted, because my mum, for example, would never read that book. Mum reads to, you know, for the escapism element and just for something cosy before bed. That's not that, just to pre-warn you. So this should be that, and I thought I need something light after reading that. So, summer 1976, Mrs. Creasy is missing and the avenue is alive with whispers. As the summer shimmers endlessly on, 10-year-olds Grace and Tilly decide to take matters into their own hands. But as doors and mouths begin to open and the cul-de-sac starts to give up its secrets, the amateur detectives will find out more than they could have imagined. And then I don't know if you can see from there, but the opening page of the book is a map of the cul-de-sac, and then a little key to say who lives in each one, and I just like that. And I read the first sentence yesterday. The chapter opens, Number 4 The Avenue, 21st of June 1976. Mrs. Creasy disappeared on a Monday. I know it was Monday because it was the day the dustbin men came, and the avenue is filled with the smell of scraped plates. And I like books written like that. Really looking forward to that one. I'll let you know how I get on. Yeah, that's my current book update. I did also start and finish The Silent Patient on the flight over to America. Really, really, really enjoyed that. That's like a easy read, page turner, thriller, psychological thriller, I don't know, I'm not actually sure, but that sort of genre anyway. Actually perfect for when you just need to pass the time, like if you've got a long flight or on your commute to work or anything like that. It's a really good one. I really enjoyed it. It's just a quick read. I mean, I say quick, but I don't think it took me the full 11 hours because obviously we were eating and everything. Are you my best friend? What have you got to say? Can I have kisses? Oh, thank you. You're so gorgeous. Oh, I feel so bad about all her long hair in the summer. But, oh God, do you know what's wrong with me? It's because I love dogs, little doggies like you. My algorithm constantly serves me dog content and I engage with it. I send them all to Kenny and like them all. And then I also get given the not so nice things that happen to dogs. And one of the things I see a lot of is like awful experiences at groomers and abusive groomers, and I don't know, and it's traumatized me, and now I don't want to take you back, but I have to. I'm looking for a mobile groomer for Rui that will come to the house. So if any of you are from Cheshire and you know a good dog groomer that will come to our house so that I can stay with you, then please let me know so I can get this tiny lion a little haircut. Anyway, we'd better go and check on the crumble and maybe feed you your dinner. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, it's looking good, it's bubbling. Oh, that looks nearly done actually. Do you want some food, girls? You want your dinner? Are you gorgeous? Are you gorgeous? Okay, go find Willow and tell her it's time for food. Okay, I'm just feeding the animals, but I actually thought I might chat to you a little bit about the dog food, because funnily enough it's something I actually get questions on. Just to start with Poppy's, because I actually tried to feed Rue this, but she wouldn't have it for some reason. Rue is a fussy eater, that's worth saying, whereas Poppy is definitely not. But this company, Years, this is pretty much as good as pre-made dog food will ever get. I follow this guy on TikTok and his entire job is talking about the quality of dog food, and I think this is the one he rates the highest, and it's all cooked just like human food. It's not processed in any way. That's a really, really amazing company, and I would feed it to Rue if I could. However, she is Miss Fussy. In terms of Rue's food, we cook Rue her food ourselves, largely because that way I get a say in the welfare of the animals that Rue is eating. So Rue eats entirely free range, entirely organic. In fact, everything she eats. We basically just make her a mix of things like, you know, some sort of protein, so chicken or beef or sometimes fish or just, you know, anything really. We mix it in with things like quinoa, butternut squash, sweet potato, veggies, always some veggies in there as well. We add like a little nutritional supplement to the top as well, and that's what we feed Rue. But I also know there's a company I think called Forage maybe, which is raw food, which I don't know, I've never really tried Rue with raw food, but I know that that meat is organic. That's the rhubarb crumble done. But yeah, I just thought I'd say that really quickly because I know that's probably triggered everyone's fight or flight, because that's like the morning alarm sound, isn't it? But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly mention that. So I'm going to feed the animals and then we'll check on how that rhubarb crumble turned out. Oh, sorry, Rui. Oh my goodness, I trod on your toe. I'm so sorry. Look at these. Hello. Hello. Okay, right, you're sick of hearing me talk. Should we get my tripod out the way? And then let's get you some dinner. Yeah? You hungry? Okay, we're making dinner. As I said earlier, we're going to make this kind of like lasagna soup, although the thing is, it's a plant-based lasagna soup, so I feel like the only thing that really makes it a lasagna soup rather than just some sort of like tomato-y, soupy pasta sort of dish is actually using the lasagna sheets, which we're also not doing because of this pasta, which I think will go really, really nicely in it. So I'm calling it a lasagna soup. I'm just making myself a drink. I'm actually just having sparkling water with a slice of lemon. I've actually never had the Evian sparkling water before. I'm a San Pellegrino kind of girl. And then we're going to get stuck into it. So I will, if it turns out good, do the same thing I said earlier. I'll pop the recipe somewhere. But let me show you roughly what I've got going on at the moment. I have got 2 sticks of celery, 2 carrots, big bunch of cavolo nero, a whole onion, a whole garlic, not the lemon, that was for my drink, sun-dried tomatoes, chili flakes, celery salt, chickpeas, olive oil, and I think that's, oh, and I need tomatoes from the cupboard. Oh, and coconut milk, which is random, but the recipe that I looked at had coconut milk in. So I think I'm only going to use half a can, or it might be a bit rich. But yeah, right, I'm going to get chopping. I hope this turns out well because I have been looking forward to it all day. No Stampelli, guys. If you're a sparkling water fan, I'd stick to San Pellegrino. Not sure. Right, I think we need some light on in here. And I'm going to light myself a candle. This is the one I got last time I was home. Herb Garden, and it just smells divine. It actually smells quite a lot like the thyme. And then I think I need to put a playlist on, all of the prep. So now, just need to get cooking. I am hungry. Onion smells so good when they're cooking. Things about living alone is that every night you're on cooking and washing up duty. There's no one here to help. Does this look? I can't actually wait till I get to the table. I have to try some. Oh my goodness, that is honestly delicious. That is so good. Okay, I don't know who I thought I was kidding. Eating at the dining table in there. The best thing about eating on your own is that you can watch TV, and I'm in the middle of watching. I'm actually on the last episode of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. If you've not watched it on Netflix, fascinating. It's really hard to know. In fact, I don't even really want to get into it because I think this is something people are really passionate about. But all I'll say is the fact that they're both actors makes it really, really hard to know who to believe and what to believe. But it's really good, and I think it's only, is it 3 episodes? Yeah, so I'm on the last one. I'll tell you something else I absolutely adored. On the 2 old films actually, old but so good, and if you haven't seen them you have to watch them. Yeah, on the plane I watched Wimbledon, loved it, would actually watch it again right now, might do that this evening. And then I watched Bend It Like Beckham as well. I don't know how I've managed to get this far into my life without seeing them, but they were so good. What else have I watched that's been good? I don't think I've actually watched that much recently because I've been reading so much. But actually, oh, I forgot to tell you this because I opened it this morning. The best PR gift just ever I think I've ever had arrived in the post this morning. And it's an unlimited membership to Everyman Cinemas. I will be going to the cinema all by myself with absolutely no shame to see just about every movie that's ever been released ever. Everyman Cinemas are my favourite as well. Honestly, best thing I've ever received. I'm so excited, and I actually think it's really nice to have something to do in the evening and to do something that I thought I would miss out on almost when Kenny wasn't here, but now I have the perfect excuse and I will be going every week. But I wanted to ask if anybody's watched Bridgerton. I watched season 1, and I was talking about this to Adele the other day actually, who does my nails, because when season 1 ended, I did enjoy season 1, but when it ended and I found out the main guy wasn't going to be in the next season, I think, like many of us, I kind of thought, what's the point? Because that's really what we're here for. So I never watched season 2, but now everybody's raving about season 3. So if you have watched all 3 seasons of Bridgerton, please somebody tell me, is it worth watching? Because I can't make my mind up. Anyway, I'm going to watch the end of this trial, finish my dinner. I did change the recipe, by the way. I didn't use the coconut milk, and I'm really glad that I didn't, because I think it would have been too rich, too sweet, and it's perfect how it is, but I'll pop it in the description. I've just been warming up the crumble from earlier in the oven, so let's go see how it turned out. Okay, verdict is, it tastes a lot better than it looks. When it came out of the oven, I was kind of not sure, but it tastes so good. So I'm gonna sit here with my crumble and my tiny, tiny little friend, and honestly probably just put on like a Nancy Meyers feel-good film of some kind and just fully embrace living alone. Because one good thing about living alone is you get to choose what's on TV every night, and that means chick flicks, girly movies, rom-coms, every single night, Nancy Meyers movies, every single night. I'm going to leave today's vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed just catching up, spending the day with me. It feels nice just to be doing what we do best, you know, back in the routine, just of home vlogs and things like that. But like I said, next week will be a very, very exciting vlog, fingers crossed. I'll give you a big update on like what we're house hunting for and why and all of that sort of thing. Just realised I've either been bitten or I'm getting a spot here. Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you so, so much for being here, and I can't wait to catch up next week as always. Bye guys.